Heaven's California.
Hey guys, I have another reaction video today. It's another suggested one. 3 true creepy apartment stories. It's almost 20 minutes long, so it's a bit lengthy compared to the others. It's from Copycat 789. You should react to this video and then drop the link. So that's what I'm doing. And yeah, once again, if you have any other suggestions, let me know. I try doing all my suggestions fairly quickly, just because I hate keeping people waiting, especially if they keep coming. And I'm going to be about like 20 videos behind, and then I'm not going to know where to start. If I do this a lot, it's because my shoulders are a little bit sore. My neck's a bit stiff or something. I don't know if I slept wrong or because my workouts at home I do. I don't know. But yeah, this is a lengthy one, so let's see if I can have my back a bit comfortable during this 20 minutes. This is apartment stories. I live in a house, and I really do not like apartments because, like, if someone's above you, someone's underneath you, it's like, on the in the basement, then just someone's above you, but like either way, someone's always above you or under you or both. You know, it's just not really like fun. Like, there's always noise that you may hear, or you can't be loud yourself because there's someone behind you or above you, or below you. It's just annoying. And this is actually creepy story. So let's get into this. I'm actually excited for this. I don't know who it's by, so I'll have to drop that link in the description. I'll put suggested by whoever, and then I'll put a hashtag whoever it is. I think it's blue something, I don't know, blue spooky or something, I'm not too sure, but by uses of the Reddit forum, let's not meet, or some of them may be from women. Okay. Yeah, guys are awful sometimes, so I think it's maybe like blue spooky or let's blue spooky, I don't know, something.
This happened when I was about 8.
Oh, of course, when you're so young, of course.
Female.
Okay.
I grew up in an apartment complex with about 20 buildings, each around 25 floors high.
Ooh.
Each floor had 4 apartments, which made about 2,000 apartments overall.
Wow.
Each building had a car park underneath, with an elevator and a flight of stairs that went from the car park to the roof. My apartment was on the 5th floor of an apartment building right in the middle of the complex. I used to take the bus home from school, and it would drop me off at the corner across from the complex. I'd cross the road and walk home. One day, I had gotten off the bus and crossed the road.
Okay.
I saw that some neighborhood kids had drawn a hopscotch on the footpath outside the complex. I loved hopscotch, so I dropped my bag and started playing. On my second go, a lady, she looked to be in her mid-20s, came over and asked if she could play too.
No.
I was a naturally shy girl.
You're 8, right?
I was also very polite.
So no.
Especially to adults. I gave her my stone and let her have a go.
In her 20s, right? 20s?
Once she'd had a go, she asked if her friends could play. 3 guys, all in their mid to late 20s, came over.
No.
This freaked me out.
Yeah.
As I said, I was very shy, especially of males. I was aware that I was alone with them, and I felt very uncomfortable. I told the lady that they could play, but I had to go home. She gave me a sad look and said that she hoped we could be friends.
You're 20-something, I'm 8.
Feelings, but I was pretty scared. So
I'm 8,
I lied,
leave me alone.
I told her I would take my school bag home and come right back.
No, it's actually pretty smart for an 8-year-old.
I picked up my bag and hightailed it out of there. I got home and thought that would be the end of it. I was scared of getting in trouble from my parents for talking to strangers, so I didn't tell them. The next day, though, the lady was waiting for me at the gates of the complex.
Oh my god.
She said that she was very sad that I hadn't come back, and that I had hurt her feelings.
I'm 8. Leave me
I said that I
alone.
was sorry, but that my mom had made me do my homework. She asked if we could play now. I looked around and saw her friends waiting by a van.
A van?
She said that they wanted to take me to have ice cream at Kiki's.
No.
Kiki's was a new ice cream place that had just
No.
opened.
No.
Each ice cream came with a toy, and all my friends at school had at least 2 toys each.
Yeah, go yourself, not with
We
them.
couldn't afford to go there, so I'd always felt left out. Now, this lady was offering to take me. I knew that I shouldn't go with her, so I said thank you, but that I couldn't play today.
Good.
She got really angry and said that I had to go with her.
No, I don't.
Being a timid kid, I hated being yelled at, so this freaked me right out and I started to cry. The lady almost immediately backpedaled and said she was sorry.
Yeah, my
Gave me a
ass.
hug.
No.
Then she tried to lead me to the van, saying an ice cream would make
Get
it
your
all
hands
better.
off me.
I pulled away and started to run home.
Perfect.
But this time, they followed me. I could hear them running after me, and I knew they were faster than me, so I figured I had to hide from them. I flew into the underground car park of the building closest to the gate.
How's it cost someone by your age? You probably don't have a phone.
Cars.
Well, I would hope you don't have a
I
phone.
heard them run down the ramp and stop. And then I heard the lady call out to me. Do you like hide and seek? Let's play.
No.
Ready? We're coming to get you.
I'm 8. Fuck
I was
off.
shivering violently and knew that they'd find me here.
These people, man.
I decided I'd get to the elevator shaft, take the elevator up to the top, then run down the stairs a few floors and take it back down, thinking that they'd see the elevator stop on the top floor and assume I was hiding there. The elevator was on the other side of the car park. I had to go around 2 corners to get there. I crept along the wall, staying as low as I could until I was around the corner. Then I bolted for the elevator. The elevator was in a small room that had a huge door. I got inside, but didn't get to close the door all the way. I pressed the up button and watched as the elevator slowly descended, stopping at nearly every floor. I crept over to the door and peeked out through the crack to see where they were. I spotted them just as I heard the elevator bing from behind me. Without thinking, I closed the door. Now, as I said before, the door was huge, so it made a huge noise as it closed, and even as I ran into the elevator, I knew they'd know where I was. The elevator was full of people, so I squeezed right to the back, hiding between 2 boys and a girl who I'd seen around before. The girl lived in my building, but on a different floor. I watched the elevator doors closing, praying that they would hurry up. Just before they closed, a hand shot between them, and they opened again. The woman was there, looking furious. "Get out here," she yelled.
No.
An elderly woman asked what the matter was, and the woman said that I was her daughter and I'd run away.
No.
I was too scared to speak,
Oh
as the
my
woman
God.
grabbed my arm and tried to drag me out. And one of the boys sensed something was wrong, though,
Good.
and stopped her. He asked if I knew her, and I shook my head and started to cry. And the girl from my building picked me up, while the boy told the woman to leave me alone. Since the elevator was full of people who now realized what was happening, the woman and the guys disappeared.
Yeah, bitches.
The girl from my building and the 2 guys walked me home, and told my parents what had happened.
And how old are they? Like the same age or like a bit
Police
older?
were
Like,
called,
good.
and after some investigating, I wasn't told this until years later, found that the women and men were child traffickers.
Clearly.
I'm so grateful that that boy realized something was off. And
Thank
stepped
God.
in.
I know, thank God,
Who
right?
knows where I'd be if he hadn't.
It's terrifying to think, yeah. You never know, eh? Scary shit.
A few years back, my husband and I were living in an apartment in Brooklyn. One night, we decided to check out our neighborhood sex offender registry. We
Okay.
discovered an offender lived in our building.
Oh, crap.
Not a big deal to us, as we don't have any children at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I should mention that this guy was one creepy-looking dude. I'm talking about the wild hair, crazy eyes, creeper type of scary. We would see the guy walking around the building or our neighborhood every now and then. He even set up a fruit stand for a while and would wildly yell at people as they passed by.
Leave me alone.
He never bothered us, so we mostly didn't think about it. At the time, I was working a crazy job, where I would be at work really late every night and have to take a taxi home.
Sus.
On those nights, my husband would stay up late and wait for me to get back. I was also a bit brain dead when I would get home after a 20-hour shift.
Oh, fuck
So
that.
sometimes it would take me a while to find my keys, and my husband would have to let me in. One night, I had texted that I was leaving the office around 3 a.m. About half an hour later, my husband heard our door handle jingling.
It's not you.
Assuming that it was me, he got up and went to let me in. However, something made him look out the peephole first. And there he saw him, the sex offender, completely naked, standing outside our door. As soon as my husband looked out, the guy stopped jiggling the handle, looked up, and put his eyeball right up to the peephole, trying to look in, as if he could tell someone was looking out at him. Then for some reason, my husband opened the door. As soon as he did this, the guy tried to force himself into the apartment.
That's obvious.
Eventually, my husband got the door closed and called me.
And why the hell would you...
I was about a mile away from our building when I got the call, and I was terrified. It must have been obvious, because when we got to our building, the taxi driver asked if he could walk me to the front door. I told him yes, and then I would appreciate that.
Awesome.
And he stood with me until my husband came outside to walk me in. We lived on the 6th floor, and from the moment we walked in, you could hear someone running up and down the staircase. We ran to the elevator and jumped in, pressing the door close button over and over until the elevator finally started to move. When we got to about the 3rd floor, the floor where the sex offender was at the time, he began banging on the elevator doors trying to get in, and then we heard him go to the staircase and start running up the stairs to catch us. When we got to our apartment, I called the cops to report the terrifying situation. It took them 2 hours to arrive.
Oh my god.
And by that time, the guy had already picked up his clothes and gone home.
Obviously.
The cops didn't even come inside the building. They made us go outside and didn't even get out of their car.
What?
When I explained what happened, they responded by saying, "You live in Brooklyn. Get used to it."
What?
Eventually, we moved out of the building. But whenever we go back to that neighborhood, we still see the guy at his fruit stand, yelling at people walking by.
Okay, if you're a cop, you don't just say, oh yeah, get used to it. Like you're in, no, you don't do that.
This story happened to me when I was about 7 years old.
This photo's sus.
We lived in a relatively big town in Russia.
Okay.
Towns, unlike villages, are known for their tall multiple apartment buildings, which I wouldn't dare call skyscrapers. But some of them have been known to go up to the 24th floor. Ours, for example, had 9 stories, and our apartment was on the 8th floor.
I don't know how much 9 stories, like how many floors is 9 stories?
What you need to know is that each
Is that 9
floor had
floors?
4 apartments, 2 on each side, separated by the staircase. This separation left room for a little hallway. Some people would claim them for theirs and install a door right at the beginning of this new hallway to have extra protection for the 2 apartments on the side. Our apartment had that little extra hallway, and the door installed was wooden and old. When we first moved in, we were curious to see who our neighbors in the apartment directly to the left were. Turned out it was a family of 3, a mother and her 2 sons in their late 20s. She worked a lot to provide for her sons, who seemed very healthy at first. Tall, lean, and talkative, although I couldn't really grasp the whole idea of addiction or drugs in general. I remember being repulsed after finding out that we lived right next to heroin junkies. They were harmless since their mother provided enough to get them what they needed. But I do remember stories of them stealing on occasion, or climbing into their apartment down from the roof whenever they forgot to take their keys. One day, I overheard a conversation that their mother wouldn't be able to make enough money anymore.
Oh no.
So the whole family was looking for a cheaper place to stay. I can still make out this woman's facial features. She always looked so tired and sad, but still tried to smile when she saw me. Although we did not initially agree, my grandma moved into the empty apartment a couple of months later, and I started to like it more, being able to just step out of our apartment and go straight to hers. The wooden hallway door protected us from the stairway, and provided a sense of having a huge family in a huge house, even though I was the only child at the time. My parents were pretty busy people. My mom had a business, and my dad was an engineer. My grandma had already retired, but she had a good piece of land out in the village that she used for gardening, so she too was very busy to keep her crops alive, and therefore spent a lot of time away. Although I was little, I was raised to be responsible and aware. I hate stereotypes, but when it comes to crime in Russia, I must admit that a lot of them are true. The idea of having a babysitter was not widely spread until the 2000s or maybe later, so whenever my parents had to leave the house, I would have to take care of myself. Sometimes I would go and visit Grandma, but when she was gone too, let's just say I didn't complain. I would watch cartoons and talk on the phone a lot, and eat jam straight out of the jar. And this day was one of those days. I turned the TV on, and my private little party started. As always, I turned up the volume and attempted to sing along and dance to the music. I was all by myself and enjoying the hell out of it.
For now.
Until I was startled by a loud sound. The typical sound the door to my grandma's apartment made, because it was a bit old but modified from outside with some kind of a leather cushion. It provided a little more isolation, but it also made it more difficult to open or close the door. You had to pull really hard and also slam it shut. I felt a little embarrassed for my loud, goofy singing, so I turned off the TV and went to see if my grandma was already home from her garden. I knocked on her door, but I heard nothing. Grandma? I asked, loud, so that she'd hear me coming.
Did someone go in for
Nothing.
sure?
I grabbed the keys for her door and opened it. Grandma, are you home? Even though I had a feeling that she was not home, a strange sensation crept through my body. I was completely sure that I'd heard the door slam.
Someone probably in there.
Nobody was there.
But it's not her.
I looked around and didn't see anything out of the ordinary, so I tried my best to shrug it off as me being mistaken, and went back inside our apartment to continue to sing. A couple of minutes later, I heard it again. Trying not to freak out, I turned off the TV once again, and went to see if Grandma was there this time. Maybe she'd left very quickly because she forgot something, and now she had actually returned. I know that's pretty stupid, but I had to calm myself down somehow. Again, nothing. She wasn't at home. I went inside again and made sure to turn our lock 3 extra times. The entrance door was wooden and kind of so-so, but the lock on it was new and had steel pipes going deep into the wall to the left, up and down. I was waiting for the 3rd time. My heart was pounding, and I could hear it beating in our quiet apartment. I was terrified because I knew that somebody was trying to mess with me. I couldn't figure out how they made the noise, and who was out there, but I knew that they wanted to get inside. I heard it again, a little more quiet this time, but still loud. Terrified to even look out the peephole, I looked at our hallway once I managed to catch my breath. Still nothing. A couple of seconds after that, I gathered the courage to slightly open our door and look outside. Just like I saw through the peephole, everything was fine with the hallway. Everything was fine with our door, my grandma's door, our hallway door too. But then I looked a little closer. One of the locks on the hallway door was hanging down from the only screw left. The other, smaller one, had fallen down to the floor, and the steel latch was bent. I don't know how I didn't pee myself. Seriously. I ran to the door with broken locks and tried to secure it somehow. A couple of seconds later, I realized that I couldn't do anything about it, so I ran inside and locked the door. Even though I was taught to call the police in case of an emergency, I called my friend from the same building first, hoping that her father would be there. He was. Crying and sobbing, I explained my situation the best I could, and he showed up immediately. His presence seemed to have scared whoever it was away, and I felt relieved. The locks had been destroyed, and so was our hallway door. Large enough pieces were ripped from it that it made it almost impossible to repair. Later that day, we called a door company and ordered the installation of a heavy iron door.
Good.
You remember me telling you about our former neighbors? Well, apparently, the family was doing worse and worse financially, so those junkies became regular visitors at police stations for theft and other minor crimes. This time, one of them must have remembered where they used to live, so we thought that it would be easy to break in, since the door in the hallway would eventually give way. I can't believe those were the same people who had acted so friendly and seemed so harmless. The man was eventually caught,
Good.
but I never quite got rid of the fear of being alone in a place somebody tries to break into. I have occasional nightmares that portray exactly that.
I got that. Thanks for watching. So still a minute.
What's up, guys? Blue Spooky here.
I told you
As
it's Blue
always,
Spooky. Told you.
I just want to thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far to the end.
I did.
If you guys liked the video, please feel free to leave a comment below, or perhaps like, share, or subscribe if you feel so inclined. If you guys have a personal story you'd like to submit to me, you can go ahead and take a look in the description. There will be links to my social media.
I'm gonna stop it there because yeah. Okay, so yeah, apartments can definitely be creepy. You never know who anybody is. Like that last story, you found that out. Like you don't know people until you know them. Like I don't even know like how to. Like until you know someone for years, even if you know someone for years, like they may not be who you seem. Some people are really good actors and they can act so friendly and be the total opposite. So like my best friends could be bitches. Like, well they are bitches, but like you know what I mean. Like they could be total bitches. Like I don't know. They could be burglars. They could be I don't know killers for all I know. They're not, but well from what I know, of course. So you never know. And that's scary to think. Like people you know for years may not be who you think they are. They seem so nice in the beginning. That's always how it starts. In the beginning, they're so nice, and then they turn into assholes later. So all I gotta say is be careful. Like especially that first one, you're 8. Like oh, can I play with you? No, you're 20. What the hell do you want with me? That's kind of sus. Like that's obviously sus if you want an 8-year-old. I'm 20. That's like me going, hey 8-year-old, do you want to hang out? No, like you know the fuck. Like no, I go to jail right away. No. Well, unless I was a dad, but obviously I'm not a dad. Yeah, okay. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. All I gotta say is be careful with this, because, like, you never know. Even though it's quarantining right now, basically the whole world's, like, in quarantine, still don't, like, I don't know when these stories were released. A lot of them are from, like, years ago, months ago. So it definitely could be a while ago, but, like, even right now, like, there's a lot of quarantine stories going on. There's a lot of stuff that can happen while you're in quarantine. I was kind of thinking, oh yeah, like the less chance of getting like burglared, robbed, or something like that. But that's not the case. You never know. Like my friend, I'm not gonna say who, but a friend told me that a car was broken into and stuff was stolen, and we're in quarantine. So you know what I mean? Like it's just scary. You just never know who is like you know. Be careful. That's all I gotta say. Lock your doors, lock your cars, lock your windows, close your curtains, you know, just be safe, because especially in apartments, make sure your door's locked, make sure your doors report any suspicious activity. I definitely do not look forward to moving into an apartment by myself or with someone else, like with a friend or someone, a partner. I don't look forward to that, because like I won't be nervous for that shit, because like, you know, I'm not looking forward to that at all, so. Alright, that's going to be all the suggestions for today. There is another Stephen D video I have to do, but I have to download it first and then I can react to it. Let's see how long it is actually. How long is it? How long is it? Of course there's an ad.
Oh no, my castle's under attack!
Yeah. Okay, while I'm waiting for this to do that, thanks for watching, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. It's 7 minutes long, okay, so it's not too bad. Again, thank you guys for watching. Leave any suggestions in the comments below. Again, try to avoid any scary serial killer or any kind of killer videos like that. Again, if you want me to see, okay. If it's like 40 minutes, like I would say the limit's like 30 minutes, because like if it's more than 30 minutes, I'll probably do a part 1 and 2. But at least make sure it's not 3 stories in 47 minutes like that one was, because that was just painful. Like I was just, it was boring, no offense. Like, I don't mind the suggestion, and I'm not like judging the person that, you know, thing, but it's just too long, you know what I mean? It's just so long. Like even to do it in 2 parts, I'm just like, I don't have any motivation. 2 stories in 30 minutes, like my goodness, I could hear freaking 10 stories in 30 minutes. Okay, thanks for watching, like, subscribe, peace the hell out.